Also, this happened out of nowhere. Have any of you guys been playing the brand new mode for The Last of Us Part 2? If you didn't hear, Naughty Dog released out of nowhere a patch for The Last of Us Part 2, which is called chronological mode, that basically takes the entire game and then breaks it up in chronological order, starting with the flashbacks and everything. And you go through the entire game from start to finish, but without like the weird pacing. They just let you go from the start and work your way through. Who knew? Who had any idea? Apparently this started, let's see where I just had it bookmarked. Yeah, Kurt Marginou, who's game director at Naughty Dog, he said, it's always been a curiosity with how complex the weaving timelines is in The Last of Us Part 2. What if there was an option similar to that one on the DVD menu option in Christopher Nolan's Memento to play the events in strictly chronological order? And that's what they did. So they put the entire game in chronological order and you can go through it that way. Now, to be clear, this is cool. I don't think you could play the game at launch like this and have it work, because the game would basically start with flashbacks of Abby, and like the hospital sequence. I don't think it would work in the format of like a game or a TV show if you didn't know what was going on. Now, it could be an interesting and kind of fresh way to play through the game with everything just happening back to back to back to back to back. And it could break up Abby's gameplay with Ellie's gameplay much faster. But as part of this, they've had to say, be prepared, because there will be sections you play a game or you play the game where you will have tools or weapons and things that you don't actually have access to in the next scene. Because, the next scene might have taken place 3/4 of the way through the original game, but because it was earlier in the timeline, it now takes place immediately. So it's clunky, but it's still kind of a fun little idea. It does reiterate and kind of reinforce the idea that Naughty Dog, like they just have a team that's always messing around with The Last of Us Part 2. Whether it's remasters, remakes, what have you, they're always doing something with it. I believe it was mentioned offhandedly in an interview that they basically assigned some new hires to work on like the remaster and remakes, to train them in their tools and get them acclimated in the studio and their workforce and the process before moving them on to the big project, Intergalactic and stuff, which is a good way to do it. You remember Bethesda Game Studios, they said that the Skyrim Anniversary Edition actually started because they were training themselves on how to work with now last gen, but at the time it was next gen consoles, the PS4 and Xbox One. They were training themselves how to use those new consoles and dev kits. And so they worked on upgrading Skyrim for the next gen of consoles so that they learned all these tricks and developed all this stuff for use in Fallout 4. And it's a similar thing here where I think they just, they're working on this stuff kind of as like a training exercise. And then some of it they figure they can sell in the case of a remake or remaster. And then other stuff they figure, oh, we can just do a free update, put it out there for fun. And this is, as far as I understand it, a free update, as you can see here, available now via patch. Voila. So cool little thing. Did not have that on my bucket list. Honestly, no idea. But it is kind of funny that once again, there's another update for The Last of Us, but at least this one's free. Got to give them that. It's free. So that's nice, because nowadays, free doesn't always come about, It's not always.